We're outside, the weather's good, and it's hard to believe this is the first time I've ever taken this bike out. It's crazy. I know I've gone over some of the things I put on here before in another video, so I'll be brief and I'll try to be thorough. But we'll see. But of course, to start, this is the aluminum version of the Nukeproof Scout. As you can see, it is the blue one because I think the blue is a better color, and I don't think you can get another one now, at least not in the US. I went with the Ergon seat because I think that's the most comfortable one for me. And the only thing wireless on this is this RockShox reverb axis. Honestly, this is probably the best luxury and probably the only luxury that I will go for at this point, because it is just nice to have and nice to know that I don't have to worry about wires. On the cockpit we have FSA gradient stem and carbon handlebars. Now I chose these because they look really good and they work, and I've had them on a different bike, so why not go with this one? I also have them paired with Shimano MT200 brakes. I have a Shimano Diore drivetrain, and just like the seat being Ergon, we got Ergon grips. This is my first time using them. They're pretty okay. I can't say much about them, so I gotta keep using them, let you know how I like them in the long run. For the fork, we went the Mazuki Z1 Bomber. I have the Z2 on a different build. It works fine. I've used this on the Ibis Ripmo, and I thought that was pretty fun, so I just went with it on this bike. On this build, I went with the Clark's brakes. The reason why is because I kind of cheaped out on this one, and I mean, they're on MT200s. Now, that may be why it kind of feels like this bike is lacking on the braking department, but I think it's kind of because I got used to the 4 pistons as opposed to the 2 pistons. I might change that out in the future. We're just gonna have to see for now. I also have these FSA afterburner wheels both on the front and on the back, and I paired them up with these V flow snap tires. They're tubeless ready, but I don't have them tubeless set up. I thought about going on this route, but the only issue was that these were 2.35s and I wanted to go with the 2.6s, so we'll fix that in a different video, but this is what we have for now. This is a classic Shimano Diore drivetrain. It's the 11 by 51 tooth, if I remember correctly. There are 11 speeds. It's pretty much all I need. Honestly, if I wanted to go 12, I could have, but if I'm being honest, this is what I had lying around the house. I only use the smallest 3 and maybe largest 4, so there's like maybe 5 or so gears that I really don't use. You can kind of tell because of the wear, or at least the dirt pattern on this right now is you'll see more dirt on the outside than in the middle, but that's just how it is for now. Honestly, this is probably, aside from the Advent X, this is my go-to budget one. There's just no need for the 12th speed if you have 11 speeds that go in a very similar range. I also paired that up with the Shimano Diore crankset in the front. I just thought I'd go with it. It's a relatively budget-friendly drivetrain setup, and most people could probably agree that this is the majority of what you really need, honestly. People who want to go 12 speeds, feel free. It's up to you, man. The only reason why I didn't do it is because if I was going to go 12, I probably would have made it wireless, just for that simple fact that you set it up once and then you don't have to worry about adjusting the cable. It's just such a pain to adjust 12 speeds sometimes. And other people can say things like, oh, it's not really that hard and whatnot. So yeah, okay, whatever, man. I'm not gonna argue. This is just easier. Can't forget to mention the Fidlock water bottle cage. Honestly, you can hit it, you can smack it, you can fall off your bike, and it's not gonna go anywhere. See? So initially, I actually did make opinions noted at the time. However, in hindsight, I decided to give my opinions after the ride. So, here we are doing voiceovers. Overall, the bike is capable of so much fun. Unfortunately for me, the lack of riding in the winter took a toll on my fitness, and climbing was a struggle. And there's a lot of heat and seasonal allergies going around, and it's only going to get hotter. I've always been amazed at what a couple of days of rain will do to change the environment. Anyway, besides being able to climb, the bike can do a lot. Now, I did mention the brakes weren't all that great, and they aren't. I did have to bleed the brakes the night before, but I also noticed I forgot to bed them after I got here. So I spent some time trying to get that out of the way, but even after that, the brakes didn't improve that much. So there is that. Maybe future brake upgrades are in order. I can honestly think of which ones I do want to try, and I've never tried them before, so I think that's going to be a lot of fun. The tires aren't exactly my favorite for this area either. Honestly, for the average person, you can probably consider the tires to be the best upgrade you can do. It's kind of like a car. The bike has standard tires for standard situations, and when you buy new tires, you kind of pick something that's better suited for your area, and it can completely change the way the bike grips and turns. Despite all that, I'm actually completely happy with how the bike turned out, because stupid expensive stuff like the fork, the dropper, the drivetrain have absolutely no reasons for me to find a complaint. Simple things like the brakes and the tires are pretty minuscule in my opinion, and they're super easy to change out. And to wrap things up, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Have a great day, I hope to see you again, and get out there and enjoy the spring. I would have liked to have kept going, but I also guess she doesn't care. I wish I knew more cow puns.